Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, in this episode, we explore the art of living meaningfully, especially when the hustle has paused, but the heart is still eager to beat with purpose. I am Suma, and today we are talking about something that most people don't truly prepare for, not emotionally, not spiritually, and sometimes not even practically, which is life after retirement. When I say retirement, it can be at any age these days, right from 20 years, 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, up to 60, 70 years. Usually, for most of us, it's at the age after we turn 60 that we call truly retirement. Now, we spend about 30, 40 years of our life running a race, whether it's the corporate treadmill or government service or a professional practice. Our days are packed with meetings, responsibilities, deadlines, and often the pressure to prove ourselves. And then one day, the meetings stop. The calendar is empty. And for the first time in decades, we ask ourselves, what do I do with myself now? Let me get into the first segment that I want to discuss today, why retirement can feel so overwhelming. Let's begin with something that no one really says out loud. Retirement can feel like an identity crisis for some of us, at least. You've been a manager, a director, a vice president, or a doctor, or a lawyer, or a teacher, or a civil servant. And for most of our adult life, we live with that identity. And now that title is gone. Not only is your schedule empty, your sense of self can feel shaky too. And that's totally okay to feel this way. When we have built our identity around our roles and our usefulness to others, stepping away from those roles can feel like stepping off a cliff with no landing in sight. It's not just about time, it's also about meaning. It's about asking yourself, without my job, who am I? It's a tough one. And if you're listening to this and feeling a lump in your throat or a quiet ache in your chest, know this. You're not alone. So many of us feel this. They just don't talk about it. That's all. So let me go to the next segment that I want to talk to you about, which is preparing for a life after retirement, even years ahead. Let's switch gears and talk about what you can do even a decade ahead or just 2 to 5 years before retiring. Whenever is your time to retire, you can think of preparing for it to make this transition smoother. First, get to know yourself outside of your job. Start asking yourself, what brings me joy outside of work? What did I love as a child or a teenager? What do I lose track of time doing? Start creating a non work identity, maybe as a writer, maybe as an artist, a nature walker, history buff, gardener, community volunteer, or even as a grandparent. Now, this will give you anchors when tides of transition hit. Second, create empty pockets of time now. Once in a while, block a weekend with nothing planned. Notice what you naturally gravitate towards. It's like a test run for retirement. Do you crave reading, long walks, conversations? Practice slowness now, and that helps soften the shock later. Third, begin a journal. These days, we don't even write, do we? We are so used to typing. Reflective journaling, whether you want to use the good old paper pen journaling or even using a laptop notepad or even your phone, doesn't really matter. What matters is your reflection. So, reflective journaling, even 10 minutes a day, can help you listen to the quieter parts of yourself, parts that your job might have drowned out. Let me switch gears and go to the next segment that I want to talk about. What to do with empty time after retirement? That's a big question, isn't it? The elephant in the room. So what happens after retirement? Suddenly there is so much time and no one is telling you what to do with it. That's overwhelming, right? Here are a few practical ways that I could think of to engage with this new phase in our lives. You may have your own ideas, but I just want to trigger some thoughts. Okay. So, the first thing that I thought is why not structure your day? Not like a strict work schedule, but a soft routine, like morning walks, then reading, then breakfast, perhaps volunteering or taking a class. Some of you are great mentors or teachers after your decades of doing something in the corporate or somewhere like a government job. So a bit of a structure gives rhythm to your life. Second, connect with community. Community is so essential. We are social beings, aren't we? Isolation can be a silent enemy. We know that after the big pandemic. Stay engaged with people, join hobby groups, attend local meetups, or even start one. If you're living in an apartment or in a community, this is so easy. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for exactly that. These are starting problems for many of us. Third, teach, share, or mentor. You have decades of wisdom, as I shared earlier. Someone out there, a young professional, a student, or even a community, could really use what you know. Teaching keeps your mind sharp and your heart full. Explore spiritual practices if you feel drawn to. Speaking for myself, I feel drawn to spiritual practices, whether it's meditation, prayer, reading spiritual texts, or figuring out the energy science that we talk about these days, or just sitting quietly in nature. That in itself is very spiritual. This is the perfect phase to connect deeply with yourself, beyond roles, beyond doing anything. Finally, no job doesn't mean disengagement. Let's really sit with this truth. Not having a job doesn't mean you disengage from life. In fact, now you have the gift of choosing what to engage with. No obligations, no meetings, no targets, no goals, no performance reviews. This is your second innings, if I can say so. And it can be the most soul aligned one yet. Some people pick up photography, others go on long travels, sometimes pilgrimages. Some finally write that book or that blog that you always wanted to write, or learn an instrument if you feel drawn towards music. Some just enjoy cooking and caring for their grandchildren. These are very many ways of how to spend your life. Whatever you do, let it reflect you, not your old designation. You're not retired from life. You are re inspired for life. Here is a reflective exercise that I invite you to explore with me. I'm calling that reimagining your next chapter. So let's do a very short guided reflection together. If you're driving or not in a position to close your eyes, doesn't matter. You can just listen. If you're in a quiet place, gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. Now ask yourself gently, who am I beyond my job title? What brings me joy when no one is watching? What kind of person do I want to become in this next chapter? What stories do I want to tell my grandchildren or children around me about this phase of life? Now imagine your ideal day. What time do you want to wake up? What do you do after your morning tea, coffee? How do you nourish your body? Whom do you connect with? What are you creating, exploring, learning, or giving back? Take a breath and remind yourself you're still evolving. This is not the end. This is simply the beginning of a quieter, truer version of you. So, as we wrap today's episode, remember retirement is not a full stop, it's a comma, a pause to catch your breath, and then a beautiful continuation. If you have spent a lifetime doing, maybe now it's the time to start being. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this episode stirs something in you, share it with someone approaching this phase, or better yet, have a conversation about it with them. Let's normalize talking about the soul side of retirement. Until next time, I'm gently reminding you you're not retired, you are reinvented. Take care.